kind of information session about how to apply for Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters scholarships. So thank you for inviting us, Professor Manjula, under this Research Aid to Research initiative. And myself and Mr. Kishan Amarasinghe, we are country representatives for EMA, representing Sri Lanka. So our task is to promote Erasmus Mundus programs like this EMJM scholarships within Sri Lankan candidates. So this is one of our tasks actually. So we would like to help you in the case of application, or if you want some information about what kind of scholarships that suit to you, or what kind of programs that suit to you, and what kind of documents that you need and how to prepare those documents. And even after the selection process, we can help you on how to prepare for the departure and those kind of things as well. So first of all, I will introduce Erasmus Mundus Joint Master in brief. This program is so all the scholarships are for master degrees that can be 1 year or 2 year depending on the program. So these 1 year programs, they are 60 credits programs. That is this ECTS means European Credit Transfer System. So 1 year program is equivalent to 60 ECTS, and 2 year master programs, they are 120 ECTS. Most of these master programs are 2 year programs, the typical master programs. And the specific feature of this program is this is developed by a kind of consortium. That means they are several higher educational institutes. They form a consortium together and deliver a single degree, or sometimes it is a single degree, we call it joint degree, and sometimes it is a multiple degrees. That means you get different few number of degrees from different universities that are within the master program. So the number of these higher educational institutes that this consortium is formed, that can be at least 3 institutes. So that means 3 universities form a single program. So that is the feature, one of the main features of this program. And within these 3 universities, at least 2 of them are European or the third countries associated to this Erasmus program. So most of them are European countries. So at least 2 of them should be European. And the other thing is, within these master's programs, they have guest lecturers and scholars for teaching, training, and some other special activities like workshops. So those are some features. Within this program, another feature is that because this is coordinated by several universities, so you need to at least spend at least 2 study periods in different universities. That means you cannot just stick to one university and complete the master program in a single university. It is necessary for you to register for at least 2 universities. So depending on the program, these the number of universities that form the consortium, that may be different. We can look at that later. So you need to select what are the countries that you want to study in these 2 study periods. So from these 2 countries, at least one of these countries that you are residing when you do your master's program should be EU member state or third country associated to the Erasmus program. So those are the requirements. And also about the scholarships, So these master's program, Erasmus Mundus Joint Master programs, they have full scholarship around 1,400 euros per month. So you can check in different programs, they specify the value. This is the general typical value, and that can cover the subsistence and travel and etc. And there's no any so if you are offered with a scholarship, there's no any tuition fee. And also the amount of scholarship that is same for European students as well as the other students from other countries in the world. So there's no difference. And in order to balance the number of students from different countries, what they have done is there's a requirement that for a certain program, so there cannot be about 10% of total scholarships cannot be granted for a specific single country or nationality. So in that case, that is, so there's a huge chance that you get the scholarships. So because that is diversified. So they make sure that that is not awarded for a single country. So I already mentioned that that the degree awarding can be joint degree or multiple degrees depending on the program. So some of the programs, they offer joint degree, a single degree by all the universities involved in, and sometimes if there are two universities that you study within the program, then both universities will separately award 2 degrees. So that is the brief introduction to the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters. So how you can find the scholarships? That is the most interesting thing that I'll show you how to find the Erasmus Mundus scholarships. I'll go to the website later. So I just highlighting what you need to do. You need to go and search for Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Catalog, and there you will see there's a possibility to filter by country and the duration and credits and the universities, or the most easiest way is to filter according to the field of study, because that is fixed for you. And you can select the field of study, and you can search for available master degrees within that field. So you will see something like this. If I search for environmental and this category, then you can click on this the program website, relevant program website that you want to look at, and you will see specific deadlines and specific requirements, the course content and the countries associated with, how to apply. All these information are there. So within the program website, when you select the specific program, you can go through the program website to find out more information, as I said. So when you go through that, you need to ensure that you search for necessary information that you need to adhere when you apply. So for example, in this example, it says the first degree should be in environmental studies. So this is Master in Environmental Science, Policy and Management. So they need first degree or bachelor's degree in environmental studies or related field. So there are some examples are also given about related fields. So agricultural studies, like, you can look at those information, and you can also find out, I think this one is from some other program, whether there's a necessity for English language tests like IELTS. So you can check those information from the program website, and if there's any requirement, they specify that in the program website. So when you apply, you can, most of the time, if in the program website, you can go through how to apply page and upload necessary documents. So I'll show you how to search and find out information. I hope you can see Erasmus Mundus catalog. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see.
Thank you. Kishan, probably you can share the link to this catalog as well, or later I can share it in the chat. So what you can do is you can search by keywords, or you can, so if you have specific university or specific country that you prefer, you can select based on those information as well. Otherwise, you can select based on field of study like I did before, environmental and geosciences, for example. Then so now you can see relevant master programs, joint master programs available for this category. So you can see there are masters in global environment and development, aquaculture, environment and society, likewise. So when you decide which program to look further into details, so you can search or you can click on that program, and I selected the certain program so that I can share some information. So you can, if you look at this program, you can see there's a tab called prospective students. There you can find out how to apply, the requirements, the procedures, study program. So this is the applications for 2023. So you may have to check whether the deadlines are already passed or not. So sometimes for 2023, the deadlines may be passed. Some of the programs that may be not. So I think, so you know how to find this information, I guess, if you just look how to apply page. So it says applications are open, and also sometimes there are webinars for specific, so these specific programs, they have their own webinars as well. So they will show you how to, the requirements and how to apply those kind of things. So if you go through these websites, you can find those informations as well. So their requirements are like the passport, the CV format, Europass, and the decrypt certificates and transcripts, language proficiency documents, two referees, and the motivation letter and other documents. So you can find out those information, all those information in this website. So the educational requirements, language requirements, etc. You can find out all the information. I think, Kishan, would you like to continue from that point?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Duleeka. So now I will
keep the sharing.
Yeah, you can please keep your screen share, the PPT.
Okay.
Yeah, next slide. the next one, next
Yeah.
slide. So, as Dr. Duleeka mentioned earlier, you can go to the Erasmus Mundus catalog and search programs, then go to the program websites through the links provided in those program pages on the Erasmus Mundus catalog. Otherwise, you can also copy the name of the specific program and Google it. Then you can directly go to the program website. You can use either of the ways. So after going to the website, check the application procedure. That is what is most important when you are going to apply for this program. First, you should check the application period, whether it's already, if the deadline has passed, there's no point of preparing documents. And afterwards, so each program website specifically mentions the application period and deadline dates. So most programs usually accept applications from October. The applications open in around October and November each year, and they usually close in March in the next year. But some other programs, they have varying application periods. For example, there are some Erasmus Mundus master programs for tourism. They open in June and May and maybe in April. So therefore, you have to, if you have to go through the program websites and check the application periods. So afterwards, check mandatory documents for application. So some documents requested are program specific. However, there are certain documents that are commonly requested by all the programs. I think you all saw when Dr. Duleeka accessed the website. There was a list that those are the documents that they request for application. So you have to check all the documents requested and prepare those documents and make sure you submit it well before the deadline. Don't wait until the deadline date to submit. Submit at least 1 week earlier so that you will have enough time to go through the documents to check mistakes and rectify them, then submit them. So for some documents, sometimes Erasmus Mundus programs grant a grace period for certain documents. For example, sorry, you might be unable to provide an English language test result. So in such case, you can contact the email address, the secretary of the program. That is, their emails are usually mentioned in the program websites. You can contact the secretary of the program and make a request to send your English language results later after submitting your application. So their decision is the final decision. So if they say that you can do so, then you can submit the application without your English language test results or any other document. However, it is essential that you should contact the secretary of the program to get such a grace period. So shall we move to the next slide? So these are the mandatory documents usually requested by all programs. So first we have the identity document, that is your passport. So usually since you have to travel abroad for these programs, they ask for your passport as an identity document. Sorry. Then your bachelor's degree certificate. So it might be the BSc or BA or any other document, bachelor's degree certificate. However, you should check if the program specifically asks you to certify it from your university. Usually all the universities provide this facility. You can go to your university administration office and ask them to certify your degree certificate. So next is the transcripts of academic records. That means your degree result sheet. So that is also sometimes asked by the programs to be certified. So both these documents, the degree certificate and the transcript, you should check if the programs ask you to certify them from your university. If they don't specifically mention it, then you can directly upload the document without any certification. Then the proof of English proficiency. Usually this is the IELTS academic test result or TOEFL result. However, my personal opinion is that IELTS academic test is easier than the TOEFL test. So after you do the test and getting the results, you should upload the original test report issued by the IELTS. So not any screenshots of I think that the IELTS send a message mentioning your test results to your mobile phones, but that is not what they ask for. They want your original certified test report in the PDF or any other format they want. So then there's there is the proof of residence they ask for. So this is for this you can submit your driving license or a certificate from your place of work issued by your employer. So driving license is a good document because it mentions your addresses, and also the name of the official name of Sri Lanka is also mentioned there. So if otherwise, if you obtain a certificate from your place of work, make sure that this letter is issued by your employer with the letterhead, stamp, and a signature. And also, it should be dated within the last 12 months before the deadline date. So next is the copy of your high school diploma. However, I haven't actually seen many programs asking for this document. In case they ask for it, you should provide the GCE A-level document. It's better if you can provide the result sheet issued from the Department of Examination, and also I think that you have to get it certified from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. However, this is not actually a mandatory document asked by all the programs. In case they ask it, you should provide it. Then there are sometimes programs asked for official documents for the past 5 years. That means if there was a period, a gap period between your graduation from your bachelor's degree and your application to the Erasmus Mundus program, you should provide information on what you did within that period. For example, you might have engaged in a specific job. Then you have to provide a service letter from your employer with the letterhead, stamp, or signature. And if you have engaged in volunteer work, you can also submit a document, a letter, a certify, from obtained from where you worked voluntarily. So finally, there are the recommendation letters or the referee letters. These should be signed and stamped by the referees. It is better to get them on a letter with the institutional letterhead. So sometimes the programs provide the layout of the recommendation letter. So in such cases, it is easier because the referees only have to follow the format and include the information accordingly. So otherwise, they can give the recommendation as they prefer. So sometimes you have to sometimes some programs ask you to submit the referee letters as part of your application, but sometimes the online application asks you to mention the names of 2 referees and their emails. So what happens here is that once you submit your application, the program sends an email with a link to the referees that you mentioned. So the referees have to upload the recommendation letters directly through that portal. So that is why you should check in which way they prefer to have the recommendation letters. So you can inform your referees about this. However, usually whether you submit the recommendation letters directly or through your referees, usually the usual procedure is that sorry, all the documents should be submitted by the deadline date. So it is essential that you inform your referees to check their emails and submit their recommendation letters to the links provided by the program. So these are the usual mandatory documents requested by most of the programs. So, however, you should go through if you are once you find out a program and if you are interested in applying, you should definitely go through the program website and the document check which documents they request. So that you could find out if there are any other documents requested by the program. Shall we move to the next slide? So yeah, so for your application, the Erasmus Mundus application, there are 2 very important documents that you have to prepare yourself. So one is the CV. So you have to submit a CV. For this, we recommend you use the Europass CV format. The Europass is a specific format recognized by the European Union, and all the European institutions recognize this. So that is why it is better to submit your information in the Europass CV format. So these are the information in the Europass CV. the information listed here, including the personal information, education and training, and the other information listed here, everything can be included. So that is why it is a very complete CV. So on the right side of the screen, you are viewing a completed Europass CV. So it is not difficult to fill this CV. So let's go to the next slide. So as I mentioned before, it is easy to fill the Europass CV. Actually, what you have to do is to go to Google and search Europass CV format online, as I have included in this screenshot. So once you Google it, you will see a list of web links to upload your to fill the Europass CV online, and several links for the Europass CV. Then you should check the official web link provided by the European Union. There is, I have marked it with a red color square here. Then once you click the upper link, it is actually a guide from the European Union on how to fill the CV, and the bottom link, by clicking the bottom link, you can go to the website that you are viewing on the right side. So this is the website that you would see. So once you go there, create an account. So as you can see on the upper right corner, there is a link to register. So you can create an account. Then you can start filling this CV form. So the benefit is that you can once you fill these fill the steps, go through these steps and fill your information. Finally, you will the system automatically creates your Europass CV, and you can download it. So if you don't have time, you can save it and come back later to fill the other information. Also, this is a very good way to fill your CV, because uh, they already provide all the information requested, and what you have to do is filling everything, so that you will automatically generate your CV. So make sure that you provide as much information as you can, so that your CV would be a more complete one. So shall we go to the next slide? So the next most important document that you have to prepare yourself is the personal statement or the motivation letter. So, there are these are actually two types of documents. So personal statement and the motivation letter. Uh, the information that you have to provide are mostly similar, but there are slight differences. So when you are going through the program website, uh, check whether they are asking for a personal statement or a motivation letter. So the personal statement is sometimes mentioned as statement of purpose. That is also the same as a personal statement. Otherwise, they ask for a motivation letter. So the motivation letter is in the motivation letter, you have to mention an address, and also it is written to a particular person or a group of people. You have to address a person. So in the personal statement, uh, uh, you mention your motivation, educational qualifications, experience, and what you aim to gain through the degree program that you are going to apply for. So these information also should be included in the motivation letter, but the difference is that usually the motivation letter is written like a letter, an official letter, formal letter. The personal statement is not. So when you're writing a personal statement, you on the top you write statement of purpose or personal statement. Then you write it down like an essay about your motivation, your education experience, your work experience, and uh, how what you would like to gain from this program, and so on and so forth. So uh, then when you are writing your personal statement, you should show strong desire to learn. So the programs also ask for your capacity to conduct independent research. So in this case, you can mention previous research that you have conducted yourself. For example, if you are a fresh graduate, then what you can mention is how you did your bachelor's thesis or something. If you found out something significant, you can mention it. And also for work experience, you can mention about an internship that you completed. So that is work experience or your past experience in your field. So if you have worked as a trainee or as an intern, you can mention that. If there are so, no work experience, sorry, you can also mention any volunteering work that you completed, because they want to know that you were engaged in your program, sorry, in your subject in any way. And they do not they understand that sometimes graduates do not get jobs straight away once they graduate. So that is why if you have volunteering experience, we know that many youngsters nowadays work with the the United Nations Volunteers Program, and there are Leo clubs and Rotaract clubs in many universities. So if you have done any work related to any such organization, also there is ISEC. So if you have worked with any of those organizations, you should mention them. So also, then some programs ask for your desired mobility pathway, because some most of these programs, they have specific subject areas. For example, Dr. Duleeka earlier mentioned that each program has program universities. So what happens with these program universities is that uh, each university specializes in a, certain area of the subject of this program. If I give an example, uh, so there is a suppose that the degree program is about environmental sciences, and there are 2 or 3 universities, and the researchers, the professors in one university, they mostly specialize in soil science, and the other university, they mostly specialized in marine resources. Then what they ask for in this mobility pathway is that what kind of subject area you would like to specialize. Then if you mention that I would like to specialize in soils and sediments, they will assign you to that pathway, so that you will go to that university. where specific specialized soil science researchers are working. So otherwise, the other applicants who are mentioning marine resources or any other subject area within environmental science, they will assign you to that university. That is how this mobility pathway works. So that is why also it is essential that when you are going to apply for a program, you should go through the course information in detail, so that you would know what exactly they are teaching, and what you can expect from them. Also, you should also, you'll have to mention this information within your application. So after reading the website, and when you are writing your personal statement, uh, uh, align your statement with the program's objectives. So when you go through the program website, usually in the home page, they mention the objectives of their program. For example, there are certain programs for archaeology, and they have the archaeology, and they have for environmental science, and they have for economic sciences. So for each program, they mention specifically what they expect from the program, the expected outcomes. So what you should do is, when you are writing the personal statement or the motivation letter, align your aims and your expectations with the objectives of the program. So also, you should follow instructions provided by the program website when you are writing your personal statement. For example, if they uh, provide a word limit for the personal statement, such as like 10,000 word statement or a 500 word statement, you should strictly follow it. That is one thing that they check when they review your application. Also, you should format your personal statement and motivation letter correctly. So there should be no spelling or grammar mistakes. You should go through your once you wrote your first draft of your personal statement, go through it several times to check spelling or grammar mistakes. So I guess that most of you are using Grammarly or any other spell spelling and grammar checking software. So you should use it for this as well. So shall we move to the next slide? So from here, I will be describing an example of a personal statement. So here, firstly, in the first paragraph, you can see that there is a good entrance to the letter. So first, the person who wrote this, he has written how he was drawn into the subject that he would like to follow through the Erasmus Mundus program. So when you start your letter in this way, it gives a good first impression for the reviewers. So, however, do not describe in your how you were interested in the subject. Do not describe in detail. Just mention it, then go to the next paragraph. So in the next paragraph, you should provide your educational details there. You can mention specific course modules that you followed in your bachelor's degree, or then you can also describe how you conducted your the bachelor's thesis. Um, however, do not describe in detail. Just mention that I did this for my bachelor's thesis. I did this in this way, and just that. Do not go into details. So, as you can see, this person has also mentioned about his bachelor's thesis, and also there are, if you can see, he has mentioned about some course modules that he has followed. So, in the following third paragraph, uh, you can mention the extracurricular work uh, that are also related to your subject that you did as an undergraduate. So it gives an impression about that impression that you were not only restricted to the classroom, but you also did some other things to gain knowledge and experience as an undergraduate. So shall we move to the next slide? So the fourth is the one mentioned. Yes, in the fourth paragraph, you can see that this applicant has described his work experience. So you should also, if when you are writing work experience, uh, may- uh, sorry, align them with your subject area. Mention what you gain from your work that is also relevant to this course. So as as previously, do not go into detail. That is why you mention your all work experience in detail in your CV. Here you mention just what you gain from each of these experiences. In the fifth paragraph, you can also mention uh, any other study work that you followed after graduation. So you can mention any diploma programs or certificate courses. So if you have, for example, uh, if you are already following a master's program in Sri Lanka, I recommend you first start your personal statement from your bachelor's period, undergraduate period, then move on to your master's degree period. Then that is so there is a um, good flow of the work that you have done. So shall we go move to the next slide? So here then after mentioning all your so the information that I mentioned earlier, all of those information relates to your previous work, what you have done. So then you are moving to the next part of the personal statement, that is describing why you are interested in this subject area. So you can mention any gaps in this subject in our country. That is why you were interested in researching this subject area, this research. You were interested in this research area. So also you can mention uh, that what you intend to do with the knowledge that you gain through the Erasmus Mundus degree. So you should mention each point in a different paragraph. So in both these paragraphs that you see right now, the applicant is describing the problems within this subject area in our country. So he is applying for this program to that is why he was interested in this subject area, this program. So shall we move to the next slide? So here, so he mentioned why he was interested. Then in this part, all these four, first three paragraphs are related to what he would gain from this program and what he expects to do with it. If you quickly go through this uh, paragraphs, you would see that he intends to specialize in a certain subject area. Then he expect to contribute to uh, the specific his institute where he works with that knowledge, and also he intends to be a lecturer. So those are his aims for the future. So that is why, so as you can see, he has a clear aim and an objective. So that is why it is very important that you write your personal statement in such a very clear and flawless way. So finally, so after mentioning everything, how you were drawn into the subject and your education, your work experience, and how you were interested in this subject and what you aim to obtain from this course program, then finally um, align your aims, experience, and every other your, the information that you provided earlier. You should uh, combine them in the last paragraph. So with the objective of the program, as you can see in this this statement has been written for the ArcMat program, Erasmus Mundus ArcMat program. So one of the objectives of this program was to give to train students in scientific techniques used for cultural heritage. So here he mentions that the techniques that are available in the course program are, they go in line with his aims and expectations, because he wants to be a cultural materials analyst. And he specifically mentions about certain course modules that are also included in the Erasmus Mundus program. Then he finally gives a closing uh, in a way that catches the reader's attention. So if you notice in the beginning also, he has a good entrance to the personal statement, and he gets the reader's attention. And also he closes the personal statement with a strong statement about his expectations, and uh, mentioning that he is confident that he would be a specialist through this program. So as you can see, this entire personal statement has a very good flow. So it starts with how one of the applicant was drawn into the program, then it goes on to describe educational details, afterwards describes work experience, then also describes the other studies that he undertook, then what made him interested in the subject area, then afterwards he describes what he aims to gain through the Erasmus Mundus program. And finally, he combines all this information with a strong and confident statement that he this program would provide the necessary skills and knowledge for him to achieve his aims. So this is a very good flow. So what I want you to do is do not uh, do not use the specific words or sentences in this statement, but most importantly, you should remember the flow of the statement. So the more, if you have to write a motivation letter, it is also very similar. You should write like this. The slight difference is that you have to write it as a letter, a formal letter. So after writing your personal statement, you should get help from your friends or lecturers who have a high level of English proficiency, and get their help to improve it. Also, as I mentioned earlier, uh, once you have completed the draft, use Grammarly software to check spelling and grammar errors, and go through no matter you are certain that you have written a good statement, go through it several times, and also show it to knowledgeable people, and get their ideas as well to improve it. So as I have mentioned earlier, you have to your statement should align with the objectives of the program. So that is something the consortiums of these programs look for very specifically. So I think that is what I have to say about this documentary part of the application. So I think Dr. Duleeka, I think we are done with the